Hey, storytellers, it's Storytelling Ron. I want to go through how easy it is to do For the Lord RPG, the role playing game. And you can have all the settings Dark Ages, post apocalyptic, Christians in space. But I want to show you how easy it is. You don't have very much, you don't have to commit much time into this at all. Um, Let me just do the basic traits. So the basic traits are aggression, awareness. What's next? Secrecy or technology. Secrecy for the Dark Ages, and technology for all the modern stuff. And then you've got social, society, intellect, and faith. So faith, or spirit rather, spirit, intellect, and society. And you start off with either a +3, +5, +3, +1, 0, -1, -2. And you can, you guys can even discuss that and change it around if you want. But you start, that's it. So whenever you want to roll for, say, fighting, you use aggression. When you do aiming or perception or using for defense, you use awareness. Secrecy and technology is secrecy is where, as a thief and a rogue, you focus on criminal activities. So like picking locks, pickpockets, sneaking around, stealth. Now, does a Christian do that? Well, yeah, you're going to want to not necessarily steal, but you're going to want to do spy work. It's for stealth, and it's for because you. To me, the view I have of it is that you are intent on doing these things. That's in your mindset. It doesn't, to me, matter what your physique is to do stealth or padlock, picking locks. It doesn't mean it's really your intent to learn to do that. At the Magic Castle, they had a padlock. I used to be a member, but they had like a padlock thing where you could pick locks and stuff. So anybody could go do it. It's just a matter of your desire to go do it. Technology is like if you do a post-apocalyptic or Christmas in space, it's when you want to fix things, repair things, maintenance, the crew guy, the plumber, that kind of thing. A little more than that, but that's the basics. Spirit is your faith, your blessings, your courage, your as a clergy, but even as a warrior, you can have high spirit if you want, especially like a paladin, a holy warrior. Definitely want holy warriors in this, in all settings. And that's also the amount of points you have to spend on, say, bless or heal or glory. And all of that refers to, when you spend a point on it, it refers to getting a D4, D6, D8, D10, or D12 bonus. And then you can go beyond that, but there's extra rules for that. But this is the basic thing. You roll a D20 for all basic skills, for all skills and how to do thing. And then you can get the bonus of one of these. And generally, the goal is to reach a trial rating or TR 12. That's the general number 12. Especially if you're playing with kids, you can just 12 for everything. And they get to roll a D20 plus their trait. Plus trait. And plus if they get any extra skill bonuses in specific things. And everything is upgradable, like every weapon. Let me just get right to skills, and I'll do I'm going to get back to the faith and all that, but skills. Let me go to faith, sorry, and then I'll go to skills. So spirit, you get, let's say you're a cleric, and you get you obviously put 5 into your spirit. That means for every encounter, for every little 10 minutes of an encounter, you get those 5 spirit points. And they're called faith points. You get those faith points to spend on heal, like if you want to heal somebody. So if you spend one point on to heal, you will get a D4 roll, right? To heal someone, D4. You spend 1 faith point on that. It can be for protection. You give them a D4 for their defense. It can be for their to hit. That's a bless or heal or bless or whatever. Oh, these are blessings. So like bless, heal. What's glory? Glory is for a paladin, and they could spend their faith point on an extra damage. Especially to go up against unholy type of or possessed type of encounters. So that's the basics of how spell casting works, but it's blessings, it's faith. Okay, so intellect is a trait where you clues, reading, history, but also it's for crafting. So obviously, as an intellect, you could gear towards academic type of stuff, but or you could go towards crafting, or a little bit of both. So that's what intellect is for. Society is obviously, wit, charm, speaking in a civil court, dealing with people. Okay, so that's kind of, that's it. As far as skills go, anything can be a skill. You decide. I mean, and you and the GM decide, and you kind of make it specific though. Like I want to, if you're a warrior and you start fighting and you're like, I want to start jumping more. I want to jump across the chasm, or jump to get into it. And like, okay, so put jumping down plus D4 because you spend, say, one glory point, which is the experience points, and you get jumping, and you can get. I want to start climbing walls. So okay, so climbing. You start off with a D4 as your first, and then you can upgrade that to a D6. You upgrade that to a D8. And what I like about this progression is that you can still roll a 1. You can still roll low, but you obviously have the potential to roll really high. And that's how this, skill progression works. You always get your trait, which is these, and they can go up. You can upgrade these. It's expensive to upgrade them, So glory. Let me explain. Glory points. Glory points is how you upgrade any of these, and you get those through the game. Usually 1 for showing up, and then 1 per hour or 2, depending on if you accomplish something. Whether you convert people, you rescue people, you plant a church, you get the people to not only just convert, like get them to think about Jesus Christ and salvation. That's 1 glory point. Another one is you get the whole town to say, we will allow you to plant a church. That gets you a glory point as well. Another glory point you can get is if you bring in a bunch of treasure to the church to strengthen it, like give it funds so that it can buy a new building or feed the poor or whatever, or you come in with something to make the church a little bit stronger. Maybe you bring in some villains you defeated and converted, and you bring them to the church so they could be, security for the church. Not goons, just security, but because they want to be Christians, they want to join the church. So those give you glory points, and each glory point will give you can then spend to upgrade a skill or a skill with these one glory point. Then this costs you another. This costs you blah blah blah. Okay, you always get the D20. You always get your trait, and then you can upgrade things. And this goes right here. The building of these up goes for every skill that you decide to have, and it goes for every weapon too. So if you have like a sword, and let's say you have a +5 to aggression, you're very aggressive. That's your trait. Plus you can, I want to spend 1 glory point and get better at to hit. You can also, the damage starts off as a D6. You can damage. You can upgrade that to a D8 if you spend a glory point, to a D10, to a D12. I do this kind of medieval armor fighting, and the way I sort of figured this all out based on my experience in medieval armor fighting, and based on my experience, as a GM for 45 years, for 45 years rather. Okay, so sword, you can upgrade. You can literally upgrade the damage and the to hit of your sword. Now, the glory points you spend on that is specific to that weapon style, that weapon. Okay, so that's a cool thing. You start getting better at that specific weapon. You're a swordsman, you're a spearman, you're a battle axe guy. You just get better at it. Then also for armor, you obviously are using your aggression to hit, your or awareness, because awareness is for bows and aiming and crossbows and all that, or guns. For guns is awareness. Piloting is awareness. Aggression is more for melee, grapple, just how aggressive you are. You can be strong, you can be weak, but if you're aggressive, you're crazy. Okay. Prayer. Let me do power. The power of prayer is a very important aspect of the game and of Christianity and of mission work and in history. We know this, reading medieval history. So that's a big strength of Christians is we pray and it gives us that extra oomph. So power of prayer, whenever you guys pray at the beginning of a big mission or whatever, not every time you pray do you get something, the GM has GM discretion on that. But you will be able to get a chance of getting inspired die, like inspiration points. You get inspired die to then use and spend in the game. You can get a D4. You get basically a maximum of D12, and then when you spend that, you can spend it as a D4. And if you spend it as a D4, then the D12 goes down to a D10. And then if you spend another D4, then that goes down to a D8. So it's sort of this whole ranking system of spending, the inspired die. So there's the power of prayer. And in this game, the preachers and clergy and even the regular people, the regular missionaries can can preach, can rebuke. Preaching is for a civil, in a civil setting. Rebuke is right in the middle of a battle, and that weakens their resolve. So everyone has vitality or vigor. Vigor, same thing. I use vitality for the players and vigor for the villains. And I'm just making it and that's basically hit points. But it isn't necessarily hit points in the sense of physical. It's your exhaustion. It's your desire to fight or not fight. So you could go down to 0 and still be standing. You just can't fight anymore. You've been rebuked, because you can a clergy can rebuke some bad people to the point that they get down to 0. So literally, he's taking hit points off of them because they just they don't want to fight anymore. They surrender. At 0, if you get hit, you start getting grievous wounds and all that. And grievous wounds is basically you get that from a crit, from a crit roll like 20 or nat 20, or if at 0, and grievous wounds can kill you if you go past -12, right? Minus D, pass. So you could get a -D4, -D6, and these are like permanent penalties until you get bed rest and heal like a normal way. But like if a battle axe that does D12, and this is sort of a new rule, but if a battle axe does D10 and it rolls a nat, if it rolls if a battle axe can do D10 damage and it rolls a nat 20, that person gets a -D10 wound. That's how dangerous battle axes are. So if they get another wound past negative D12, they're gonna die. So a -D10 wound is a big gaping gash. It's pretty bad. So this is just a new grim rule of the game. Regularly in the safer game, you get a -D4 the first time you get a grievous wound, then a -D6, then a -D8, so that you there's a safe progression, but you know that if you go past D12, you're gonna die. So you have to get that healed, and you can't get it healed by the regular heal. You got a nun can do it miraculously, or you need bed rest, and you need to end this adventure and go back to church and rest for a few days or weeks or whatever. And time passes quickly in this game. I don't make it like medieval time. Medieval time does have a seasonal quick style to when you would go out adventuring and all that. But anyway, nonetheless. Okay, so am I done? Oh, let me just talk about defense and combat. Everyone's defense is based off of a 12, just a basic 12. So if you want to just do 12, especially if you're playing with kids, just do 12. But you can change it with awareness, or it improves, or actually a good penalty too. Awareness, shield, and a helm. Shield and helm, and those could raise it. So if I had like say a 2 awareness, then the 2 for a shield, and a 2 for greater helm, not just a regular helm, great helm. Then I could have a 6, so 18 defense. So that's defense, but there's also armor save. Armor save is based off the armor. So leather is a D4, D6 for chain, and D8 for brig. And then plate is D10, D12. So yeah, if you get hit, you can reduce the vitality damage with rolling a D4, rolling a D6, and D8. And also those could counter grievous wounds, but you have to roll that. You have to match the grievous wound by the D8, whatever this is to save against that horrible grievous wound. And then the armor goes down. It takes the damage. So there's that kind of fun little things going on with this armor and the vitality and grievous wounds. You can also sacrifice your shield or greater helm for the grievous wound, so that you lose your shield, but it's gone, it's destroyed, but then you don't take the grievous wound. So there's that kind of fun stuff. That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit more than that. Burden is gear, and burden is very simple. It's just you get to carry 2 heavies. 2 heavy, 3 mediums, or I think it's 3 mediums, or maybe 4 mediums. I forgot. 3, let's say 4, and then light is 5 or 6, whatever. And then you can mess around with that if you want, change it if you want. But so that, and every item generally has category heavy, medium, or light. And heavy doesn't just mean weight; it also means the encumbrance of it. Like a longbow, I consider to be heavy because the longbow, it's really big and you got to have it's kind of tricky to just carry that with other things. I think a longbow's heavy. I'm not sure, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. It's based on um, the how it sort of takes over your body, when you wear. But that's kind of it. That's really the main things there for the game. That's all the basic rules. And again, you use traits to deal with basic roles. You get to add a skill if you decide to start using skills. Like the one I can think of that I really hit home with me with this is one of the characters, the fighter, who said, "I'm going to start taunting," and and here's the thing about the skills that I really love about doing it this way. The characters get to role play out their skills, like how they want to play their character. They're not told how to play it. They're not told which class to go through and you get this and this and this. They get to, as they play, in their frustration, in their silliness, they get to start doing things and figuring out how their character is just by how they play them. And then they start saying, I like I can tell you're taunting. And do a quick pause. Okay, so I got interrupted there. Now I'm doing taunting. Taunting skills. So the character, you're not. I'm just so done with D&D and the levels and character classes. I'm really done with character classes. I mean, you start off with a warrior, cleric, nun, patron lady in the Dark Ages one, but you can go from there. You can go any direction you want with the character. I'm not telling you which direction to go in. I want you to role play the direction you go in. If you want to, my basic example is if you want to be a bard, you got to role play getting a lute or violin or whatever it is, and role play finding someone to teach you, kind of thing. You create the experience of that character, and there's no limits. There's no 10th level limit or 20th level limit. You keep spending glory points on things that you want to improve. Different weapons, different armor. You can even upgrade the armor save. So how I said here that leather is a D4, you can actually upgrade that to a D6, a D8, a D10, D12, because you're spending your glory points. Because what you're doing is you're fitting the armor better. You're getting more used to it. You're getting it right just for you, and it's specific to that armor. So if you do lose that armor, like it gets utterly destroyed in combat, you have to start over and you lose those glory points. So there's that risk, but it's still fun that you get to continually improve this character. And I mean, I've play tested it a lot, but I haven't play tested it like where the players have gone 6 months on the same character. So I don't know exactly, but I'm quite sure, based on my own experience, you will never get to a point where a wild boar or a minion couldn't do something bad to you. Like they can still be a danger to you. So in translating Dungeons and Dragons, you're never going to get to a 7th level and then a goblin is not a big deal or whatever, or a basic goblin or a basic whatever. Everything can still be dangerous to you in this game. So because your vitality can only go so much, you only get a D6 and you got to spend a glory point to get that to raise your whatever. And as you get more and more higher and higher in vitality or the skills, it costs more glory points to go that much better at it. You can do it, but it costs a lot of glory points, so you have to spend a lot. Like if a skill, here, a sword, if you get to D12 on to hit up here, and you want to go more, you want to go now plus D4, so that's the next progression. This D4 costs 4 glory points now. So you're spending a lot to get really to be a master swordsman. So you're losing out on society stuff. You're losing out on crafting or whatever. And that makes sense for a master of the sword is generally someone who doesn't have very, very cloistered, very focused on that and doing that and nothing else. And if you go to a D6, right, this is pretty amazing swordsmanship. But this D6 would cost you 6 glory points to get that up. And here's what I love about it too. You can still roll ones. You can still roll a couple of ones there and fail. You can still, much rarer to do it, but it's still there. It's still a possibility of failing, and someone not as good as you beating you. That's what I love about this. I love that this is it's a bit more die rolls, a bit more crunch. Not bad though. You don't need any charts. There's no charts here that I necessarily need. I mean, there's a couple that I use as a GM, but the players don't need any charts. And all of these blessings that they would use, they're very simple in how they work in the game. And we're kind of done here. That's the game. But I do want to bring this up as just a conceptual thing about it. GMing. Let me. The basic premise of blessings and then curses done by bad guys, by witches and sorcerers and demons or whatever. Okay, let me see what I put here. I put 30 points of fonts. The basic premise to do any sort of trap, poison, curse, or whatever is you're gonna bad things, or it can be positive things too, but let's just say bad things affect target via these. So it's very simple. It's either trait, lowering of effect here, effect traits, affect vitality or vigor, affect, should I say skill? Well, not skills, but traits and skill rolls. Vitality, vigor, grievous wounds. And grievous wounds can be anything. It can be poison. It can be an actual battle wound. It could be a pain, whatever it is. They all combine. So that's scary too. So if you're poisoned at minus D6, poison minus D6, and you take minus D6, and you take a wound of minus D8. Okay, oh my gosh, I don't even know what that is. So D4, D6, that's 2 ranks, and D4, D6, and then the D8 is 3 ranks. So yeah, D6, D8, D10, D12. So you're minus D12. So that means that the next wound you get is going to kill you. You're in a bad shape. You're about to die. So you need to get out of there, or whatever, and there's no life saves. There are life saves. If you go down to a negative in vitality, like hit points, there is life saves. You could recover because you're unconscious. You're definitely unconscious at that point, and then you could recover or die, depending. And it depends on the situation. Like if I feel like you've gone negative in vitality just based on exhaustion, just you do something silly, I probably won't kill you for that reason. Okay. So that's so let me just take this off. So whenever you want to do a trap or a curse on them, and by the way, Christians have a very high resistance to pagan curses and stuff because of the Holy Spirit. But what the pagans really like to do is do curses or power or control over the other minions, and then that way the minions are controlled to the point that they won't surrender. They just keep fighting, and that's sad for the Christian, because we want to beat them down to the point that they submit and either convert or at least become docile and civil, so that people around them have a chance of hearing the gospel. Okay, what else do we do with curse effects? Curse or faith effects. Traits and skill rolls. Yeah, because like a blessing will increase the skill roll. Vitality, heal. Grievous wounds. The nun can do miraculous heal of wounds. I think that's it. I'm trying to think of anything else that you would have to come up with, because that's really all there is. I mean, a grapple is in here under skill rolls, right? If you're grappled, you're basically you're getting the penalty, the minus D4, minus D6, minus D8, minus D12 to do any of this stuff. If you go past minus D12 on any of the skill rolls, it's not a grievous wound, but what it is you're paralyzed, or you really are, you can't do anything past minus D12. Minus D12 is like, I can struggle and get, move out of this thing, but past that, you're like, I can't move. I'm stuck, That's kind of what that's really it. So anytime you want to set up a poison or a trap, an effect, or a curse on them, like a witch does a curse. That this is basically the thing you decide. What is it going to affect? And how do they resist it or save? They have resist, by the way, which is, and resisting something is just aggression or maybe awareness, to avoid it. Definitely faith, their courage, like to resist. Those are the main three that are for resisting, and the Holy Spirit. So they will have a. I think there's a rule in there for you get an extra bonus because you have the Holy Spirit. Okay, so that's the game. I might have missed a few things, but that's the basic game and how it works. I just wanted to bring this up so you can see how simple this game is and how fun, but yet you can totally delve into your character and build up this incredibly complex character. You choose the skills, and those could be talents or traits or whatever, but you choose the skills that character has. One last thing, male and female, there is a difference, absolutely a difference, and I will not budge on that. Males, men for vitality start off with a 6 plus d6 plus aggression. Women get a 4 plus d4 plus aggression. And women's aggression, what I've decided to do is double cost to upgrade. So this is absolutely true in the military, in my experience, and doing medieval armored combat. The women are they're not that aggressive. The entire physique of them is just slower. And, it's absolutely true. They also don't have vitality the way men do. They don't have the same endurance that men do. And that's absolutely true. So what does that mean then for the game? Women have other attributes, and I've got stuff for them to pick and choose from. And those are true. Mothering, nursing, caring, patience, and endurance in that sense. So they have these extra traits that they use in the game. And they can fight. They can be in combat. But it's not a good. They're going to hit a wall at some point. When women are like doing football and stuff, I'm just like, and people are encouraging them, like, they're going to hit a wall at some point, and they've wasted all this time doing something that they cannot go beyond, and an average Joe Schmo can. So it's ridiculous for us to encourage them that way, and I don't want to make them. I'm not a stupid pagan. Sorry, I'm being insulting, but whatever. I'm not a stupid pagan that thinks women can do what men do. And that's the stupid thing. Well, we want to give women power, but you mean by making them men, or pretending that they're men and do what men do, but they can't actually do it? Blah. So women in this do not have the aggression. They have other things that they can do that will help the party, support the party, heal the party, encourage the party. And the men have to be in the front. They have to be in the front and take the hits and try, and the women can fight from the back. In the obviously the post-apocalyptic and the sci-fi, they can use guns just fine. I would not recommend them going up, charging over the chainsword, thinking they're gonna go mano a mano, with the villain. And so for all you moms and dads out there, this game is gonna show men and women are different, and women cannot just run around with a battle axe and swing it like crazy. No. Another thing, men are pastors, women are not. I'm following the Bible. Men can be pastors. Women can evangelize. As missionaries, they're not really going to run a church anyway, so pretty much they can do the same stuff. But I want that to be delineated in that the men are generally the clergy, the clerics. The women are the nuns types. And I don't mean nun Catholic. I mean just some sort of female deacon or part of the evangelist or whatever. And they do have blessings that they can use, similar to the clergy, but not. But there's some differentiation. So I definitely want that in the game as well. I want women to play and figure out how to play a woman in these and not play a man. No. So if you're offended that I've limited it to 2 genders, only men and women, then this is not the game for you. You've got 12,000 other games role-playing games out there you can go to. This is one little. I want one little corner, unbeknownst to anyone but a few Christians playing this game, to help fellowship, edify, and teach their children, but have fun doing it. This is a lot of fun. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. I can't go back to the other role-playing games. I know I got a bunch in the back here. And I kind of want to play Morkborg and some Mjolkborg and some other sort of simplified games like that. But I can do it with this. I can easily do a Mjolkborg type game with this. There's plenty of dark, sinister, real, historical stuff that I can put this into, which is what I'm going to do. Catacombs of Rome and beyond. So I'm going to create a bunch of different settings. Same game system. I don't even have to change them very much. But anyway, okay. So I just want to ramble on again about how much I love this game, and I'm here all alone. Well, I'm in this period where I'm not role playing, or not GMing, which is making me sad. Although, oh wait, Monday and Tuesday I have a marathon with 3 actors, so I'm doing the Apocalypse one. So doing a real show, like 10 episodes. So that's going to be a pretty intense and fun thing. But I'm telling you, Christians, this is your role-playing game. Help support it. Help support what I'm doing. Encourage me. I don't need it. We should, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I just want to get this. And I don't want to own this. I want Christians to own the RPG again, the fantasy stories, the storytelling. I want Christians to get back on this. And now there's plenty of Christians out there doing fantasy writing and stuff. But in the RPG world, there's none. There's none. And we need to get in there and fight this. And if any of you all out there are fantasy writers, Christians, and you want to let me know, contact me to create content for this. I do kind of want to do like a little, do you know what the beliefs are here, blah, blah, blah. But other than that, I want you to own it, have it for yourself, blah, blah, blah. OpenGL type of license, or I don't know what it is. I haven't figured that out yet, but you know what I mean. Anyway, okay. And remember, in the game of life, roll holy dice.